And if you do that, then you're being real with them and they understand what it takes to get to where they need to be and they can get to where they need to be as opposed to, putting them into building a pipe dream that's not real for them.
Imran, you and I have just caught up for the past hour on what it means to be a fighter, what it means to be a coach. I also was blown away by a comment you made on what a victory might look like for a person. It's not just winning the gold medal, or that actually the gold medal might be making it out of your front door or making it into the ring, never mind winning the competitions. What stood out for you?
You've allowed me to reminisce,
Mm.
go back to thinking about people I've maybe not thought about for a long time because you live in the moment, you live in the next boxing session, you live in the next boxing show, who's competing next. So it's allowed me to just sit back and think about all the people that have helped natural progression get to where it's currently at today, which is something that I'm immensely proud of. So thank you very much for that, Jack. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a cracking episode. There's so much to take from it. And yeah, going into the new year, if you're thinking about finding a new boxing gym, then I imagine natural progression is a good place to start.
Absolutely. You'll find us in the heart of Stockton. You're only a stranger once with us. We're a very welcoming academy. We take all kinds of people, so you're more than welcome to come and give it a go.
Let's get into the episode. It's your profile photo on Twitter. It's
Yes.
a recreation of Muhammad Ali and the Beatles. Am I right?
Oh, yes, me and my daughters. Yes, yeah, 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 yeah.
So your daughters are the Beatles there.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
If you ever go around and see John Mann's study, he's got
yeah,
like a photo this big of that. So I knew
yeah,
it immediately when I saw it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Were
love it.
you always coach, Imran, or did you start fighting when you say Ali?
No, no, I boxed. I boxed when I was younger. I boxed for Stockton Boys ABC under on my coach Chris Bales. Did relatively well. All right, not too bad. I was torn between boxing and cricket because our family was a massive cricket family. So I was always either playing cricket or boxing. But obviously, once you get the bug for boxing, it's everything else takes second place.
Yeah, of course. And as you were going through the ranks, working with your coach, when did you kind of get the feeling that you were moving more towards coaching than fighting? Was that a thing, or did you have to stop fighting? What was your story there?
Yeah, so basically, I was boxing. I was training pretty much every day. I got married when I was 23,
Okay.
and that's when everything changed for me.
Yeah.
So when I got married, training became secondary. So I wasn't training as much. I wasn't getting to the gym as much,
Mm.
and I was, if I wasn't going to be 100%, I wouldn't put myself in a position to be beaten by maybe lads who shouldn't be beating me and weren't as good as me. So my next thing was just concentrate on myself, concentrate on my family, and I started going to a gym in Stockton called Natural Progression Health Club.
Okay.
It was run by a friend of mine. Started noticing that a lot of kids were out on the streets, stood on street corners. They weren't necessarily being antisocial of any kind, but they were just out, not doing much at all. So I spoke to the owner, and he sorted a boxing room out for me, and that's where it all started. 29 years ago.
29 years ago. That's mad.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I right in thinking that is it boxing against bullying? What's
The
the
slogan,
slogan?
yeah, boxing against bullying. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to get the ABA at the time, Amateur Boxing Association, to get behind it, and regionally they did,
Yeah.
and we had basically it was just to highlight, obviously, that boxers and not bullies. You know what I mean? Because what was happening was we were being associated with some of our boxers getting
Mm.
into trouble and using their boxing skills in a way that would intimidate people. So had to nip that in the bud. Started off with our gym, got them to buy all the kids and all the boxers to buy into it. And I thought, you know what, it'd be worthwhile taking this regionally, and we did, and it worked. Yeah, it worked really well.
And that's an unbelievable acronym. ABABAB. If it's the Amateur Boxing Association behind boxing against
Yeah,
bullies.
well, yeah, it's now England boxing.
Natural Progression still exists as a health club, or is it fully boxing now?
No, no, it is boxing. However, we have acquired some training equipment, all techno gym gear, everything, leg presses, leg extensions, leg curls, chest press, everything that we need, and we've opened it out to the wider community. It's £10 a month. Come and use it. Peak time hours while the gym's open. Come up and use the gym.
That's amazing. I was going to start with your journey to get to Borough, but I wonder
Mhm.
if we stick with this and we stick with the idea of what people might get wrong about boxing. So I think something that non-boxers get wrong about boxing is the idea that all boxers are just out to intimidate. Like, from your experience, what do you think people get wrong about boxers who aren't boxers?
Well, do you know what? There's nothing that people get wrong. It is those people. However, it's not only those people. There's young people who are quite timid in their personality. There's young people who have no friends, who are quite isolated. There's vulnerable young people. There's bullies. There's tough guys. There's not so tough people all over from all different spectrums of life can be involved in boxing, and it's something that nearly everyone has an opinion on.
Mm.
Boxing and football, you'll find that people have an opinion on it. So yeah, it can be intimidating coming into the gym, but generally it's for everyone. Yeah, it can be for everyone.
How did you get kind of the outside world and the boxing world from your club to kind of get on again? How did that
Yeah.
work?
So we'd get complaints by parents calling to say one of our boxes has been fighting or bullying or whatever. We'd have calls from school, the police, to say that some of the lads were getting involved in issues. So it was just a case of getting them in and saying, look, if this is what you're about, we can't be associated with this. And there was so much into it. They couldn't live their life without obviously the boxing academy. So it was very important to them. So then it was either that or get kicked to the curb and move on. We couldn't have that stigma attached to us. Where community work comes in, we've done loads of stuff like cleaning up the snow around old people's homes, giving out food and things like that. More recently, cleaning up the borough town where the Middlesbrough town centre where the riots happened. So quite a few of us went over to help the clean up there. So there's a lot of things that we're involved in. The boxers will buy into what we're trying to sell in terms of us as a boxing academy. If me as the mainstay and the other coaches buy into it as well. You know what I mean? We have to give the message, they will receive it, and they'll jump on board.
It's not just the fight. It's not just about what happens in the ring. It's how you get to the ring. And it's an element of fitness that I think I've missed out on, Imran, because I've, gone to the gym and I used to enjoy my cycling when I was a kid. Like, I did things that I could do for myself, by myself.
Hmm.
But then when I joined a run club in Sheffield in the summer, it just completely transformed how I felt about working out and fitness. And
Hmm.
I realized how important it was to be among other people and to kind of go
Yeah,
through
yeah,
those same things.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's an individual sport, and everyone wants to win. Every coach out there wants a champion. Every boxer wants to be a champion. But for me, the bigger and overarching thing was to not only create champions, is to also have young people who were of value to the community. and they bring value to the community. They're valued members of the community, and that is massive because at the moment, community element is on the wane. I think it's really struggling. I think so. It's very important that we keep that message going. Yeah.
Sure. What have you seen? What feels like it's on the wane to you in the community?
Yeah, I think politically, there's a lot of turning wheels. I'm not a political person, but
Mm,
obviously you see people's reactions and the way people are starting to voice their opinions across social media. So much so that I've come off social media because of that, just because it's a negative, and I don't associate with that. So yeah,
yeah, I have conflicting views about social media. Obviously, through social, we're getting to connect, we're getting to chat.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
There are obvious benefits to it, but I think
Mhm.
when there's misinformation, when there's groupthink, and people don't stop to look at humans on the other side
Yeah.
of screens, there can be a
Mm.
problem. Maybe this is how we come back to where you're up to now, Imran. So you
Mhm.
moved from Birmingham to Billingham when you were quite young. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you grew up in a Pakistani family
Hmm.
and in, I don't know what it's like in Billingham, but I know in Central Borough, there's a big Pakistani community.
Hmm.
And obviously, when we're talking about being part of a community, bringing communities together,
Yeah.
how did it feel growing up, moving from, your hometown to the Northeast and then
Yeah.
becoming an
Yeah.
adult in that?
Like I said, I was very young anyway, but there was no Asian families in Billingham.
No.
There was our family and another Asian family, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So you can imagine what my upbringing was like. And to be honest, it was me and my brothers standing up for ourselves that got us into issues.
Mm,
We basically got into loads of fights and outside of school, in school. I'd be constantly in the headmaster's office.
yeah.
But it was probably one teacher that really changed my life. Really, he said, "Look, you need to start. You're going to get into trouble. You need to start thinking about how you can channel this aggression that you have.
Yeah.
How you can channel it in a more positive way." And he said, "Why don't you try something like boxing?" And it was just a throwaway comment. And next thing you know, I'm out running and training and having a positive influence as opposed to a negative one.
The idea of sport and exercise being a good way to channel energy is one thing, but what you've just described there is that it wasn't just boxing, it's that you were doing the running, you were doing the training for the thing. It becomes, from what I understand, and I reckon you could speak to this, an identity thing, doesn't it? When you get
Mhm.
into something like boxing, you're not just
Oh yeah,
boxing, you
people
are a
know
boxer.
you as the boxer, the boxing coach. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They know you as that. I liked it because it was positive. It was a people never saw me as like, oh, the troublemaker or the packy or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I was known as earlier, now it was the boxer and now it's the boxing coach. Oh yeah, it was different.
You've got a mantra, am I right in thinking when it comes to natural progression that is it nobody gets left behind or we leave nobody behind?
Yeah, the thing is that we were basically we'll take anyone. We'll take anyone. We've had young people who were disabled. We've had all kinds of people. Back in the day, other coaches were knocking people back, but they'd say, "Oh, look, the Packies would take you. They'd go over to the Packies. They'll accept you." So we were like, "Yeah, okay. That's doesn't matter what your ability is, as long as you're getting something from what we're able to give out." So yeah.
Yeah. And that sense of bringing other people in, it seems to be in direct contrast to maybe what you felt growing up, that maybe you weren't allowed to be a part of a club or that maybe you had to fight harder to get into the same spaces. Would you say that's fair?
To be honest, I've always been a confident person. I've always been quite an extrovert, so it was never an issue for me.
Okay.
So I always, it didn't bother me that I was the only Asian kid in school, or I was friends with everyone. I'd make my, I'd didn't go out drinking or nothing like that, but I'd spend time with my friends and that, and they'd treat me absolutely like anyone. It wasn't an issue for me. However, as I grew older, ventured out a little bit, then you start realizing that, hold on a second, there are people who have preconceived ideas of what the Asian and Pakistani Muslim community, and and the hatred starts to come out and what have you. It was apparent then. So yeah, it was then that I really started leaning into boxing, and and started being closer to the people in the boxing gym than anyone outside it.
Is it cliche to say that maybe by having like such a strong identity with boxing as being a boxer, that was like a common language you could use, that maybe that was a way to overcome like ignorance?
Yeah,
And
massively, absolutely. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's dead right. I think the common denominator was boxing.
yeah,
So, if there was a disagreement, it was usually about who your favorite boxer was, as opposed to what the color of your skin was, or other stuff that you'd find in the wider community, or in the wider parts of the T side.
Did you know that each episode of Fitness and Thinking takes about 10 hours to put together? If you've enjoyed them, then I've got a favour to ask of you. It's not your money. It is just a second to like what you like. Maybe a couple of seconds to leave a comment on what you enjoyed, what you changed, what you might have asked the guests, and maybe to ask me to bring on somebody or to discuss a topic that you're interested in.
it was a moment that I saw on social media that really pushed me to want to chat with you, was when I saw Henry, my brother,
Yeah.
and one of your pupils and coaches now. He was in traditional, would you say South Asian or traditional Pakistani dress
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
a wedding, and
Yes, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
you decked everyone out in these lovely suits that
Mm.
I think a lot of the white boys from Borough wouldn't have had access to. I wouldn't have known how to wear or to style or anything like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
everyone looks super smart. I'm super happy to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
And
you know what? Everyone knows they're my family. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I treat them like my family. They're like my little brothers, like my children. And if I'm doing something like that was my daughter's wedding,
mm,
and I couldn't have my daughter's wedding, something that is really dear and precious to me, and not have my family there. Obviously, they were always going to be there. They were always going to support. They were always going to, have a couple of tables of the guys there who I'm closest to. And yeah, the coaches came, and it was brilliant. And it was so nice to see everyone, go the extra mile, and wear the clothes, and, push themselves out a little bit. Well, it was brilliant. It was so good.
it's just that, to me, is what community is, and how everybody was just so happy to be there, and clearly from different backgrounds, but all there for the same reason. And for you to be, I imagine, the reason, the cause, the person who brought everyone together, that's it's a wonderful thing to be, I would imagine. Do you feel like maybe an elder in a way? Do you feel like a leader?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I feel like the father figure, the uncle, the older
Yeah.
brother, the friend. I feel like all of those. I mean, like a lot of the coaches who were with me when I first started are now married with children. You know what I mean? And I just think back and think, wow, I was kicking their asses and screaming at them at the top of my lungs, and get the work done, and make sure you do the road work, make sure you do this, do that. And now they're parents in their own right, and it's an amazing feeling. What's great is I've had boxers who now work members of parliament. Some of them are doctors, some of them are pharmacists. Some of them have moved abroad, and some of them, obviously, some of them have struggled. Yeah,
Mm.
some of them have made wrong decisions, and they've gone the other way. But it's an incredible and you just think, you just think how many people's lives you've touched in a positive way, and they come back years after and they say, "Listen, you had a really positive impact on my life." So it's an amazing feeling when people say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, Imran, if we're thinking about what makes people successful. So not all of your boxers would have gone on to box.
No.
So I wonder if there's an element of when you join a club that you're training for the ring as much as you are for life, that there's crossover between learning to fight and kind of fighting through life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've spoke to people who've gone for interviews, couldn't do interviews, started boxing. Next thing you know, they're excelling in studies, interviews for work, and really putting themselves out there. And that's really what it's about.
Mm.
Like I said, it's not. It's more than just creating boxing champions and professional fighters. It's about giving someone the skills or helping someone to attain the skills to do more in their life.
Yeah. And you're talking about their skills. Obviously, with you got the physical aspect of it, you got the road work, you've got the technique work, footwork, drills, you've got structure. So you will show up at this time. You want to get better, so I'm going to keep you accountable to coming in 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wonder as well, for yourself, for some of your boxers, for kind of when we think of top end elite athletes, how important is a sense of religion or spirituality to being the best or to being a fighter? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think you'll find quite a lot of boxers who are religious and they lean on their faith to get through difficult times. Other boxers who are not particularly religious, they lean on you
Mm.
and your guidance. And my guidance obviously comes from Islam and being a Muslim, and being a practicing Muslim. So they lean in on that, and that's where the respect element that they get for what I teach and what I'm taught as a Muslim. That's where they'll ask questions and what would you do? How would you handle it? How do you go about it? All those questions come out, and that's where I'm able to help quite a lot in a spiritual sense. Yeah.
What's the best bit of fighting advice or maybe even life advice at this point that you've given that you're just like, yeah, that's a zinger. That means something.
That's a tough one. That
Yeah.
my usual one is get the basics down. Make sure that you're sharp. Make sure that you're eating right, sleeping right, training right. Come with the right attitude. Come with the correct temperament. Leave the arrogance, and you'll see yourself excelling to. Yeah, it's if someone has a natural athletic ability and they can build that into what I've just said, build that into their life, then they'll get better. It's impossible not to get better. To
Yeah.
have those things in as a part of your structure, it's they're going to get better, and it's consistency, isn't it? Consistency is what's going to get you where you need to be in life and in the boxing ring ultimately.
100%. That's your natural progression in the type
There
of.
you go. There you go. That's it.
So on the opposite side of the same coin, what's the best bit of advice you've received?
Be truthful. Be truthful with them. Don't blow smoke up their asses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell them, look, this is where your strengths are. These are your weaknesses. This is what you need to do. Yeah. And if they're not doing it, don't be afraid to tell them, listen, you're not doing what I'm asking you to do.
Mm.
Yeah. And having those difficult conversations with a lot of the boxers, you're not as good as you think you are, mate, because you've stopped doing the things that you need to be doing. If you want to keep progressing, then you need to be working hard and turning up. I'm not afraid to have those conversations, as you can probably tell.
That's huge. I don't have a roster of fighters, but I've got a roster of gym clients. And
Yes.
I had to have the conversation yesterday for somebody's chin up and say, look, the issue is not X, Y, and Z. It's that you're not gripping the bar hard enough.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there were all sorts of reasons for why they couldn't grip the bar hard enough.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
like, no, we've gone through this. You're not
Yeah,
doing what you did 10 minutes ago when you got your
yes.
chin up. So,
Mm.
yeah, kind of having to take it can be, I think, if you're not used to it and you don't understand why people are defensive, and I think if you take somebody else's defensiveness personally, then you're not going to ever be able to coach. But if you can go, I remember when I was frustrated, I remember what it's like to not be able to do that thing, and to take a breath and go, okay, so what would I tell myself then? Then it's going to be so much easier to help this person right now.
With me, I took a leaf out of Sir Alex Ferguson's book
Okay.
where he not one person gets it, it's the whole lot of them.
Mm,
So we had a show, it's never happened. Out of all of the boxes at back, we on our home show we had one winner, yeah, and I absolutely hit the roof.
yeah.
And I went through every single one of them, including the kid who won.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, "But I won," and I said, "Yeah, but you could have done better."
Yeah.
So it was, and I said to him, "It's my fault. I've took my eye off the ball.
Mm,
You know, daughter's wedding, this, that, the other." And I said, "It's never going to happen again." And on our last show, we were absolutely on point. We were brilliant. We boxed so well that night. So I'm aiming for the same again this time. Make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
the old hairdryer treatment. What did that look like? What did that feel like to give?
Oh, I was fuming. I was fuming. I forgot what I said half it. It was the lads afterwards. Apparently, I offered a few of them out. So, so that's how far it went. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the gym wasn't a mess for a long time after that, which is obviously a good sign.
You took responsibility for the team not winning. You
Yeah,
know, you still had your winner and you still made sure that he knew what he could do better.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what was that like? That kind of self-reflection and that taking on the burden of the loss.
I'm the captain. I'm the one that they're all looking towards. I'm the one who instills the discipline and makes sure that they're doing the work that they need to be doing to get better. So the buck stops with me. Yes, individually, the boxers, if they're not doing the work, then they're not going to get any better. But I know that. I know I can pick them out. I can go around and tell them you're not doing this, you're not doing this, and I'll do that. And that's not it's not an issue for me. However, we've had this reputation from day one that win or lose, natural progression boxing academy, fighters, boxers, well turned out, good quality, fit, strong, competitive boxers, and that's what you'll find.
Yeah.
And that's whether we win or lose, as long as they're giving it 100%, then you can't ask for much more than that.
The win or lose both happen in boxing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
both happen in sports. But if you aren't accountable for the losses in the same way that you celebrate the wins, then you've almost missed the point of it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. And our last boxing match before Christmas, I think it was about the 20th of December, and I thought the lad could have done a lot better than he did, and I've held him accountable for that, and he's been in every day since. We trained on Christmas Day. He was in on Christmas Day.
yeah.
He's been every day since, working on obviously his shortcomings for that what happened on that night. So that's how you get better, is to understand that, look, I know where I fell short, I know what I did wrong, and I'll be better next time. So that's what we're hoping for on the home show when we hopefully box and compete against the same lad again.
I don't know if this is me playing too much with words or this is an actual experience. I wonder if there are two pains to being a fighter. There is the pain of loss or being told that you're not good enough and having to overcome that, whether through more work, whether through shifts on Christmas Day when everybody else is eating and having time off. And then there's the actual pain of having not done the work and then being beaten.
That's the one.
If you know what I mean, like, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the opportunity to work on what you're not good at and then go on to win and admit that you're not good enough and kind of go through the pain of not being good enough? Or would you rather get knocked out? Would you rather lose as a result of not doing this work, if that makes sense?
They both have their lessons.
Yeah.
Because being beaten and knowing that you could have done better would probably hurt more than if you were not good enough or if you were overmatched. Yeah, if you were overmatched and you get beat, then it happens. That's normal. But if you were capable and didn't put the work in, that would hurt more, I think. That should hurt more, I think. Because you can try and box up to a level and you not reach that level, and there's no shame in that. But if you're at a level and you're not working hard enough to get the win, then that's for me. It's not. That should hurt more than anything else for me.
You said that there was a teacher for you at school that kind of helped you to get your focus, and then obviously you've become that person for so many people in the Northeast. What do you think stops people from doing the work?
Arrogance is one, and then the other one is their work ethic. They don't understand what it takes to get to a certain level until they've fallen flat on the face. And that's the lesson for them is, right, now I understand what I need to do to get to where I want to be, or to be able to box like the other guys. You know what I mean? So that we've got a few standout kids who are doing really well, and they're holding the torch, and all the other kids are looking up to them, and they'll follow. Now the difference between you getting to where they are and not is obviously talent is one. Yeah, you've got to have a certain amount of talent, and you've got to have the work ethic. If you're missing any one of them two, then you won't get to the level. But that's not to say that you can't compete, but you won't compete at the level that some of them are competing.
For the people who are thinking, now I want to box, but I'm looking around at these talents, I'm looking around at these coaches, and am I strong enough? Am I fast enough? Am I hard enough, for want of an expression? Like, how do we get people over those questions that might stop them from even trying?
Yeah, that's in the gym. That's in the gym setting.
Yeah,
that's in the day-to-day grind every single day. Sparring kids who are better than you from the gym, going out and sparring in clubs against other kids that you've never met in away gyms, training on a day-to-day. You'll find out what your level is quite easily in that sense. If you're doing all the work and not able to compete at that level, sometimes you're not going to get to that level that you think you can attain. You can get to the best of your ability, but it's harder if you don't have that inherent talent inside you. Then it's going to be very difficult. I've had loads of parents come over to me and say, "Oh, I need you to train this kid, and I want him to be the next America." And I'm like, "Hold on a second. Let's see what talent the boy's got first.
yeah.
Let's see if he's athletically built. Let's see if he has that awareness, that sharpness, that feel for the sport. It's all of that kind of stuff. It's not just, you can't teach every single thing. It's all, a lot of it's natural ability as well.
Like, it's a tough hill to take, particularly if you're scared, particularly if you're not used to being punched yet. If you want to go and box, you've just got to go and box. You've got to be in the ring with people who are better than you in order to become better.
What you've got to understand, Jack, is that some people, their their win, their gold medal, their everything is to get into the ring to spar.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's gold medal is to come into a boxing gym. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be competition. Someone's big thing might be, hold on a second, I love the sport and I live for the sport, but I'm not really good at the sport. So where's my spot? Where do I live? Where can I be? All right. Well, if you love the sport and you know the sport and you want to learn, then coaching's for you. You know what I mean? So there's a space for everyone. It's just trying to be realistic and understand where your place is. We have a lot of those. We have a lot of boxers who they know, because we don't lie to them. We don't shy away from telling them, listen, you'll get to a level, but you're not going to get to the level that other boxers will be, or you think you might be at. We've got to be real with them. You can't just lie to them, and it's like people who go on X Factor, and you know what I mean. They can't sing. They just can't sing, but they'll tell you that they can sing, and that their parents tell them that they can sing, and they're amazing. But we know that they can't. So you've got to have realistic expectations, attainable goals. Yeah. And if you do that, then you're being real with them, and they understand what it takes to get to where they need to be, and they can get to where they need to be, as opposed to, putting them into building a pipe dream that's not real for them.
And I think the perspective that you have of, what is a win? I think sometimes we get a little bit shy about enjoying the things we enjoy, or feeling pride in what we've done today.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
Yeah.
some people, leaving the house could be the win.
Massive, yeah. Yeah. I work with a lot of people. I work in public health in Middlesbrough Council, and my role there is massively different. I'm a teacher to a lot of people, but when I come to the gym, I'm a coach, and it's two totally different roles. The word coach is just not. It's not. You can't put it in a bubble. It's so many things. It's so many things. It's a mentor. It's a parent. It's a brother, family. It's the policeman. It's the hand around the shoulder, the counselor. You know what I mean? The 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 amount of information that you get from people, giving them the right information and help them through difficult situations. Tell them that they're wrong when they're wrong, and tell them that you're not happy when you're not happy with them. But obviously, you you engage with people on different levels. If you know that they're hypersensitive, then you're not going to go in all guns blazing. You sit down and give them the information they need, but in a certain manner. If someone's a bit hard-headed and a little bit thick-skinned, then you can go in on them a little bit more, and you can, as long as you're able to press the right buttons and you're able to get the reaction that you need from them, it depends. That is the ultimate key, is to get the best out of them. And sometimes it's an arm around the shoulder, sometimes it's a hug, sometimes it's an absolute blast, sometimes you're grabbing hold of them and you're shaking them. It just depends on the individual. And that's what you learn, is that no two people are the same.
It might have been one of the first autobiographies that I read. It might have even have been an Alex Ferguson book. And maybe he was quoting somebody else in that. The idea of great leadership is getting other people to do what needs to be done because they feel the need to do it.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not just telling a person that something needs to be done, it's getting them to feel it. As you were describing, when you had natural progression boxers feel that if they acted in a way that wasn't aligned with the club, then they wouldn't be part of the club anymore, which then meant that they acted better in and out of the club.
Yeah, that's had the effect that you're looking for. Ultimately, that's made them the better person, because they feel value, they feel the tightness and the closeness, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that comes from great leadership, from a teacher, from a mum, from a coach, from
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that you've got to learn that it's not a natural thing. So I've probably made loads of mistakes over the years and bent over backwards for people that I shouldn't have, done things that have put me in a compromising situation or been a difficult situation for me, and kept someone in the gym that I should have let go a long time ago because of the behavior or whatever. But it's your personal experiences that you learn. It makes you into what you say, the leader that you become eventually. I'm still learning, to be honest. Still make mistakes on you.
But I think it takes somebody who loves to teach, like the humility of that person to say, I'm still learning, is massive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
If you weren't a boxing coach, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, you could do anything, Imran, what would it be?
I'd be in better shape than I currently am, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I give, at work and in the gym, you give everything.
Yeah.
You give your whole self, everything. And when it comes to yourself, you're absolutely knackered. It's hard. It's hard to then motivate and push and get into a better condition than as what you were. But it's life. It's some things are worth sacrificing, I suppose.
Okay. I get that. All right, maybe I'll push you in a different direction then. What topic or what idea do you love, makes you tick, that maybe you don't get to go deeper?
Yeah, but everyone knows what makes me tick in the gym because all I talk about is the NFL.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my thing. That's because I've lived boxing for so long, and I used to I used to play five-a-side and feel guilty because it wasn't boxing, and I lived boxing, and all I wanted to do was boxing, and I thought, you know what, I really need to find a different interest, and I'm all in on the NFL now. The
What is it?
NFL. I used to support when I was a kid, in 1985 in school. One of my mates introduced me to the Chicago Bears,
Okay.
and in that summer we used to go over the school and we go over the rules and we play games and that. And I've loosely followed the Bears for a long, 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 long time. But just recently, this beginning of the year, I started really getting back into it again because I needed another interest. I needed something that wasn't boxing
Yeah.
because it's hard. It's probably hard for a lot of people to imagine, but I love boxing so much. But it was starting to become a chore. It was becoming difficult, and it wasn't losing interest. It was just becoming, here we go again type of thing. So I needed to find an interest that wasn't boxing, and that was the NFL. And I'm bang into that nowadays.
So two things. I think the appreciation, the understanding of, just as not one person can be your everything, not one person can be your coach, friend, spouse, swimming instructor, skiing,
Yeah,
all of these things.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's exactly the same with the things that motivate us and drive us. And, for me, running came at a really good time for me because I was sick of the gym. I was sick of lifting weights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And it got me back into being fit, and it showed me a different way to be fit, like I was fit in my heart, not just in my muscles, kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
With NFL for you, what is it? Is it the strategy? Is it the athleticism? What is it?
It's the thinking. It's the players. It's how coaches break down the teams. It's the it's the methodical way that quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers go through their routes, their chains and stuff. And I think, since I've got into it, I think that it's made me into a better boxing coach. because I look into it differently now. Some of the wording, some of the vocabulary. Ultimately, I'm always going to bring it back to boxing.
Yeah.
How can I implement this? How can I implement this into what he's saying? I understand what he's saying in an NFL sense. How can I implement that into boxing? And it's just opened up a whole new way of thinking for me with regards to coaching, regards to training, and trying to get the best out of my fighters. I love it. The strategy of the game is so good. The way the coaches are pitting their best pieces. They call them pieces. I love it.
Mm.
Their pieces against their pieces, and who matches well. And this guy is overpowered. So how are we going to keep this guy off our QB? And we're going to have to double team him and triple team him. It's amazing, brilliant sport.
It's human chess, isn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm all in on it. I'm planning at some point I'm going to go to Soldier Field. So I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, class. I think, Imran, we're really close to bringing this into land. You've got a hat on, which maybe is
Yes.
one thing you'd want to link people
Oh
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So iBox Customize is a company that I started around about, I want to say 12 or 13 years ago. We make customized boxing equipment, gloves, head guards, groin guards, mitts, anything to do with boxing. We boots, all kinds of stuff we make, and it's all customized. So you pick your colors, you pick your wording, your embroidery, your style. We do everything. So it's something I'm really proud of. Not I haven't been able to give it the time that really it deserves, but yeah, it's something that we've got quite far with, and we recognise, which is the main thing. So yeah.
For sure. And you will kit out amateurs and pros alike, won't you?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's we've kitted out a lot of the great boxers of current. Yeah, Anthony Joshua's, yeah, Tyson Fury's and the like. Yeah, we've managed to make a lot of gear for a lot of people. So I'm really proud of that.
When it comes to natural progression,
Yes.
what should people do if they're interested?
All they need to do is give us a call, jump on Facebook, find us on Facebook, Natural Progression Boxing Academy. We're really well followed. I think we have something like nearly 8,000 followers on our page. We keep you updated with what's going on, the boxers who are competing, the shows that we're going to, the training camps that we go away to in Fortaventura and Tenerife and the like. And you can get involved. And like we've always said, we take everyone, so it's not an issue.
I'll drop all the links in the description, and I appreciate you, Imran, for your time.
My pleasure. No worries.
Hey up, cheers for making it to the end of this episode. Why not subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode again.